Michael, how do you reflect on the trip to Sydney? Obviously a nice start and then probably pretty disappointing, I'd imagine, after that. How do you sum it up?
Yeah, it was exactly what we're after at the start of the game. We thought our first quarter was outstanding, and some of the things that we spoke about during the week with our pressure around the contest and the amount of tackles that we wanted to lay in that game, we were right on track. We just got to make the most of our opportunities when we go inside 50. We could have been another 2 goals in front at quarter time. We didn't take our opportunities, and then the second and third quarter got away from us a little bit around clearance. So, the GWS girls got on top around that area. We were able to fix that in the last quarter, but the damage had been done before that. But really like the way we start, and consistency is a massive thing for us at the moment.
Is it frustrating after the high of the week before to have the low on the road?
Yeah, it is. I think we've gone over to Sydney last two seasons and played some good footy in Sydney. So we're looking forward to the trip, and we thought it was one that we could get. So to drop it was disappointing, and still walk away from that game and review it and think we had a lot of opportunities, and we could have won 2 in a row for the first time in our history, but we didn't get across the line, which is disappointing.
You mentioned around clearance. I mean, Parker sort of tore it up through there a little bit. I think you sent Swanson to her for a little while. Is that something you can see yourself doing down the track to try and contain that? Like a lot of teams have one really good clearance player in the AFLW. Can you see yourself using that as a lever to pull again?
Swanee, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Swanee was keen to do it as well. I mean, she's played a couple of those roles for us this year, and she did a really good job up until half time. I think Parker had 9 at half time. And then we just said to Swanee at half time, go and play footy and release the shackles a little bit. And we tried a few other things around Parker, but she got going. So we had to try something, especially around clearance. She's a bull around there, and she was very good. But I thought Swanee's job in the first half was very good on her.
Is it something you could be doing this week? Someone like a Hanks who has averaged 7 clearances a game. Could you see yourself pulling it with Melbourne, such a strong side?
Yeah, we're going to have those conversations later on today, and whether we send anyone to someone or we just go head to head in the midfield and back our girls in. But they've got quality midfield players, and Hanks is one of them. We could pull a string on that, but we'll have to wait and see.
More broadly, it's a pretty tough draw on the run home. What are you sort of looking to get out of the next month of footy with the girls? Yeah,
I think we can cause some havoc. I think in the back half of the season, the 4 games to go, I think there's a couple of games in there that are really winnable for us. And it comes back to the attitude of our group and whether we want to keep competing and chase those wins, which I think we do. And I really look forward to the next 4 weeks. I think we're a real chance to upset a few teams on the way home.
What could that do for you going forward, the rebuild more broadly, and next year, the confidence boost of a win?
Yeah, I think everyone loves winning. That's what we play footy for, and that's what we're in the coaching for, to win. And along with winning comes confidence, and that's a massive thing in any sport. So, and it would help drive our girls over the summer months in their pre-season into next year. So I see the next 4 games as really important in not only this season, but the future of our footy club.
Is there a desire in the group to avoid not finishing last? Like, is that a really driving factor for yourself?
You'd like to think so. It's nothing that we don't speak about it at all, and it's not what we want. But you'd like to think that there's that drive within the girls to put their best foot forward and get a couple more wins before we're done.
Charlotte, what did you make of the trip to Sydney? It was obviously pretty difficult conditions, but just sort of beaten up in the midfield after quarter time, which made it tough for the girls down back. How do you sort of sum it up?
Yeah, similar to Mick, we obviously had a good opportunity to get 2 wins and 1 on the road, which would have been really handy leading into the next few weeks. But just a few things didn't fall our way, and didn't play our best footy for the 4 quarters, which is what you need to do to get a win. So, yeah.
What's the vibe around the group? Obviously, so high after the Port win and then the disappointment of this week. Are you sort of riding? Do you feel like you're on the roller coaster a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. Obviously, Port, we were really, really happy, and like I said before, we did have an opportunity to get 2 wins in a row. But I think it's just back to the grind, and obviously we're looking forward to Melbourne this weekend. Really step into the challenge and see how we are up against one of the best teams in the competition.
Yeah, Melbourne obviously right up there as sort of the benchmark. Do you enjoy those challenges? I mean, with such a young group, that can be pretty difficult, but is there something that you take out of watching the best players and the best teams play up close? Yeah,
absolutely. Well, they're the benchmark of where teams need to be, so why not line up directly against them and see how we're tracking for that. So yeah, it should be a good game, and we'll definitely have to bring our best for the 4 quarters. And I'm confident that we'll do that.
And Michael, on the injury front, Sasha going over, that's really disappointing.
Yeah, it is. No one likes to see anyone get injured, but it's been confirmed she's done an ACL, and she's meeting the surgeon this afternoon and take it from there. But no one likes to see that. But what we do know is, I spoke to the girls this morning about it, that Chinny, our physio that works with our girls, does a fantastic job, and we've got 3 girls come back from knees and they're all playing good footy in our team at the moment, so she'll be back bigger and better than before.
And Sarah, she's obviously had a back problem. Are you pretty keen to bolster the ruck? I mean, you've had young Wackfer in there working really hard, but having a bit of reinforcement in there, I'm sure you'd be looking forward to.
Yeah, she's done a little bit of training today. She'll aim to train on Friday, and if she gets through that, we'll probably pick her to play. So we need her to play. She's had the back injury now for 3 or 4 weeks, so we've missed her in there with her height and her hit outs. So hopefully she pulls through at the end of the week.
And would you imagine that being 2 rucks if she was fit?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've played 2 rucks in our team every game we've played this year. So and it'll just give Lauren a bit of a chop out as well. So I think she's going really well. Lauren really like what she's doing, but to have a ruck as a backup and not a temporary ruck. And Eleanor's done a great job when she's come on the ground for us in her role as well. But we can find other positions for her.
I know you probably talk about it every week, but Ella, that first quarter was pretty incredible. I think it was 6 marks. I mean, she could have kicked 4 goals in the opening term and broke the game open. Do you feel that in the next, 12 months, she's seriously capable of being the best player in the comp?
Yeah, I think I think she's going to be an extremely good player in this competition. Absolutely, she's doing some amazing things at the moment. But there's a lot of upside in Ella Roberts, a lot of upside, and hopefully she realises that. And with her training and how she goes about everything to be an elite footballer. So, but she's made some good progress in 2 seasons, and we can't wait to see what she does in the next couple.
Are you still tempted to run her through the midfield at times? I mean, the contested marking up forward is just so impressive, but then she can do some damage up the ground as well. It must be difficult for you to way up.
Yeah, I think we've rotated her pretty well at this point through forward and mid. When she plays in the midfield, the other aspect that she's really good at is her pace. She's the quickest player on our list, so when she gets the ball, she breaks away from stoppages and that. So we just like her to be able to kick it to herself in the forward line.
Playing a side like Melbourne and Adelaide, I think later in the season as well, what's the balance between sort of attacking the game and playing your brand of footy and being a little bit defensive and countering what they're doing and making sure you're not in for a heavy defeat? Is there a sort of balance in the way you go about things before games like that for such a young group?
A little bit maybe, and I think we don't want to be too defensive because our group's still learning and wanting the way we want to play. So if we go into defensive mode, we're not learning a lot about the way we want to play. So we'll keep attacking the game and taking it on and trying to play the way we want to play. I think that's a good learning for our girls, and to go defensive, shut down, and I don't know what they're learning for the future with that. We're not going to play finals this year, so that's out of the equation for us. So we'll keep pressing our style of play and learning from it.
The build more broadly, where do you see that tracking this year? Have you dipped this year? Are you still on the rise? Are you sort of confident that it's trending in the right direction?
Yeah, I think it's been... I think I sort of was hoping that there'd be a little bit more wins early in the year, and they didn't come. But I think in terms of our group, we're tracking. And, after we played Melbourne last year, I went back and did a lot of numbers on where their group was at, age-wise, games played, 50 game players in their team. And it was really stark, the difference between what they had in their team and what we did. But what we've done since then is we've added another 10 games experience to that. So we are growing. We've got a lot of young girls on our list, and every week they play, they're getting better and better. So I think we're tracking okay. We just like a couple more wins along the way to becoming a really competitive team.
Charlotte Indigenous round over the next couple of weeks. What does it mean to the playing group to be a part of something like that? And you'll have jumpers to wear as well.
Yeah, really fortunate KP was the one that designed our jerseys, which I think just makes it a little bit more special, obviously representing the jumper for her when she obviously can't take the field. A couple of us girls are also getting our boots painted by her, so that's even more special as well. We'll have that part of her on the field out there with us. But yeah, just a really, really special round, or couple rounds actually. So yeah, looking forward to that. Adds a little bit extra.
Are you having your boots painted as well?
I am by KP, yeah.
What did you ask for?
I said up to you, but she said she'll give it like a sunset kind of look, so that'll be pretty.
Lovely. And you touched on it there, but wearing the jumpers for her, what sort of an impact does Crystal have around the group, and how is she tracking while she's out?
Really good, actually. She did her first run today, which we all got around her for. But she just gets it done and doesn't interrupt, obviously, when we've got work to do and stuff, which is absolutely awesome. And she's so selfless. And the way she goes about it, honestly, can't fault it. And she's still a massive part of the group, like getting around us and stuff. So she's awesome and we all love her so much.